Hello everyone. So this week, hopefully the lessons will be quick. I'm kind of going to review number lines, but this time with fractions and decimals. So there's going to probably be a lot of review of fractions and decimals right now, but that's okay because I know that's, kind of it's a hard topic. Right, so I just want to review how we go, turn incomplete numbers into fractions. Right, so hopefully you remember what you do, right, is you multiply the 8 by the 2 and then add 3, and that gives you your top number, right? So 18 times 2 is 16, we add 3, and we keep the bottom of the fraction, the 8 over here, the same. Right, and so then we get 19 over 8. So 2 3/8 is 19 over 8. Okay, so hopefully this is all review. So then 3 times 10 is 30, plus 2 is 32 over 3. I just wanted to make sure everyone remembers. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 5 is 29. Four times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7 over 4ths. Okay, and now what we're going to do, so this might be new, is graph them on a number line. We're going to graph different ones though. So let's just graph this last one. So when you're doing like fractions on a number line, it's really a good idea to kind of have first your main numbers, right? So we've got 1, 2, we have 0. We can do a -1, 2 after this. Okay. All right, and then we want to look at, so let's say I want to graph 1 3/4, or you can think of it as 7/4. Okay, I want to graph this number on a number line, and I just have to pay attention to my bottom number. My bottom number is 4. That means I'm breaking my numbers apart into how many parts? 4 parts, right? So that means I'm going to need to draw 3 lines, right? Because we have 1 part here, 2, 3, 4. So we broke a number down. We broke 1 down into 4 parts, and we could keep going. Right? So we broke our numbers down into fourths. So now we have 0, then we have 1/4, 2/4, or you could think of it as 1/2, 3/4. Right, if you do 1 is actually 4/4, right? Then we have 5/4, 6/4, 7/4. Right, 2 is 8/4, right? Because 8 divided by 4 is 2. Right, and I want to graph 7/4. So that would be right here. Or if you wanted, you could do 1 3/4, right? You go to 1 and then you count 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and that still gets me to 7/4. So this is 7/4. This is that number. We just graphed that in a number line. So it's really good to know how to graph fractions on number lines. Before we were just doing whole numbers, right? When we did it like I don't remember, the first week. Just doing basic number line stuff. Okay, so let's graph -5/4 on the same one, right? So then we have -1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, 5/4 right here. So this is -5/4. That's our second point. Okay, so we're just graphing these points on a number line. Okay, let's just do a few more. This time I'm going to pay attention to the I'm gonna have different like fractions with different bottoms. Okay, so do your big numbers and then we'll break them apart according to what the fraction tells us. So I want to graph the number 2 1/2, or we could write that as 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1, 5 halves. Okay, so if we just think 2 1/2, that means we know it's going to be greater than 2, right? It's 2 1/2, so it's a little bit bigger than 2, but it's not 3 yet, right? It's going to be in between 2 and 3. So I'm just going to start from 2, and then I know I'm breaking my numbers apart into 2 parts. That means I'm just going to split it right here in half, because I've got my 2 parts breaking my number apart. 2 1/2 would just be right there. So this is 2 1/2. And if you wanted to break them all apart, you can, but I don't want to do that, because then you might get something like, maybe we want to graph 5/8. Okay, so this time 5/8, it's not quite 1, right? 1 would be 8/8. So we know it's less than 1, but it's not negative, so it's greater than 0. Okay, 5/8. That means we're going to break apart our number into 8 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tick marks to break it apart into 8 sections. Right, and then we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. So this is our 5/8. But this is why I like to only draw the tick marks where I need it, because in this instance I only needed to split it into 2. In this instance I needed to split it into 8 parts. Right, so let's say we have negative 1 and 2/6, something like that. Or, well, I guess you could simplify that, right? Negative 1 and, oops, not 2. Negative 1 and 1/3. Okay, so I know it's not negative 1, right? But it's not greater than negative 1, right? It is less than negative 1. So it's going to be between negative 1 and negative 2. So I need to break apart that section of my number line. I want to break it apart into 3 parts. So that would be 1, 2, right? Because then I get 1, 2, 3 parts. Okay, negative 1, and then 1/3 would be right there. There we go. Sorry, I've got like allergies today. Yeah, so that's graphing fractions. You can change them either to improper fractions, or you can use mixed numbers, right? However you prefer, as long as you, the most important thing though is usually we don't use mixed numbers in algebra anymore. We pretty much stick to just fractions, whether they're improper or not. So it's good to kind of stick to that, but I think it's handy to kind of know the improper fraction, because it can help you graph, so you're not having to like break down everything into 2 parts, right? You can just go like, oh, I just need to break apart between 2 and 3. All right, so I'll stop this video.